It is 2 a.m., and the world is silent except for your mind. You are physically drained, but your brain is running a high-speed marathon. A single awkward comment from 3 years ago suddenly feels like a crisis. Your heart rate increases as you simulate scenarios that will likely never happen. You are not broken. You are experiencing a biological glitch in your survival system. Welcome to the phenomenon of midnight cognitive rumination. You think you are solving problems by thinking about them repeatedly. In reality, your brain is just spinning its wheels in deep mud. At night, your prefrontal cortex, the CEO of your brain, goes offline. Without this executive control, your emotional center, the amygdala, takes total command. It treats a social worry with the same intensity as a physical predator. Your brain cannot distinguish between a memory and a present-day threat. The silence of the night removes all external distractions that usually mask anxiety. This creates a vacuum where your deepest insecurities finally have room to breathe. You are not thinking. You are being hijacked by an ancient defense mechanism. We must look at the default mode network, or the DMN. The DMN is active when you are not focused on the outside world. It is responsible for self-reflection, but at 2 a.m., it turns into self-sabotage. Your brain begins to ruminate, a word derived from cattle chewing cud. You are mentally chewing on the same toxic thoughts over and over again. This process triggers the release of cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. Cortisol signals your liver to release glucose, preparing you for a physical fight. Now, your body is chemically energized while you are trying to remain still. This misalignment between biology and environment creates a feeling of intense dread. It is a relic of our evolutionary past, designed to keep us alert. Your mind tells you that if you think enough, you will find peace. This is a cognitive trap known as productive rumination illusion. Analysis paralysis sets in because there's no action you can take now. You are trying to fix a daytime problem with a nighttime brain. Your perspective is distorted because your brain is deprived of sensory input. Everything looks darker when your pupils are dilated in a shadow-filled room. The urge to solve is actually an urge to escape internal discomfort. But you cannot escape a thought by using another thought to fight it. To stop the loop, you must perform a hard reset on your biology. The first step is to recognize the 2 a.m. bias of your mind. Remind yourself, my brain is currently an unreliable narrator of my life. This creates meta-awareness, or the ability to observe your thoughts objectively. Label the sensation. This is just my amygdala being hypervigilant right now. Shift from what-if thinking to what-is sensing immediately. Shift your focus to the weight of your body against the mattress. Notice the exact temperature of the air entering your nostrils as you breathe. This forces the brain to re-engage the somatosensory cortex. By focusing on the physical, you starve the rumination of its fuel. If the loop is too strong, you must change your physical state. Get out of bed and splash ice-cold water on your face. This triggers the mammalian dive reflex, a powerful biological survival response. It forces your heart rate to drop and activates the parasympathetic system. It acts as a circuit breaker for the frantic electrical activity in your head. The shock of the cold pulls your consciousness back into the now. Do not turn on bright overhead lights. Keep the environment dim and cool.
Light exposure at this hour further suppresses melatonin and worsens the cycle. If a specific thought persists, you must move it out of your head. Write it down on a physical piece of paper, not a digital screen. This process is called cognitive offloading and reduces mental load. By writing it down, you signal to your brain that the data is saved. The brain no longer feels the need to keep the file open. You are telling your subconscious, "We will deal with this at 10 a.m." Many 2 a.m. thoughts are about the uncertainty of the coming months. The brain hates uncertainty more than it hates actual bad news. It fills the gaps of the unknown with the worst-case possible scenarios. Understand that your future self will have resources your current self lacks. You are trying to solve tomorrow's problems with today's limited energy. This is an unfair fight that you will always lose at midnight. Trust the version of you that will wake up in the sunlight. Try the cognitive shuffle to distract the language centers of the brain. Think of a random word like apple and visualize things starting with A. Then move to B, visualizing a bridge, a bear, or a bottle. This non-linear thinking prevents the brain from building a logical anxiety chain. It mimics the fragmented thoughts we have just before falling asleep naturally. You are essentially hacking the transition into a dream state. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of those thoughts. The 2 a.m. version of you is a tired, stressed, and biased observer. Forgive your brain for trying so hard to protect you from imaginary ghosts. It is doing its job, even if it is doing it poorly right now. Accept the wakefulness instead of fighting it with anger or frustration. Resistance creates tension, and tension is the enemy of physiological rest. Lay back down and let the thoughts pass like clouds in a storm. The storm will always run out of rain eventually as morning nears. You have survived every 2 a.m. loop you have ever been in. Tonight is no different, and the sun will rise exactly on schedule. Your only job now is to breathe and wait for the light. Realize that the magnitude of your problems scales with your exhaustion level. A problem that feels like a mountain now will be a molehill tomorrow. Your neurochemistry is simply playing a trick on your sense of scale. The prefrontal cortex will return to full strength once the sun hits your eyes. Until then, treat every anxious thought as a hallucination of a tired mind. Gently disconnect from the need to have an answer right now. The world does not require your constant supervision while you sleep. Your responsibility to the future is to rest in the present. Silence is not an enemy to be filled, but a space to inhabit. Let the rhythm of your heart become the only clock you follow. Slowly, the electrical storms in your synapses will begin to fade away. The default mode network will finally surrender to the sleep state. Your body knows how to heal if your mind stops interfering. Every breath out is a release of a thought you no longer need. Every breath in is a return to the safety of your own skin. The 2 a.m. marathon is over, and you are allowed to stop running. Close your eyes and let the silence finally be quiet. The answers you seek are waiting for you in tomorrow's clarity. For now, there is only the darkness, the breath, and the peace. Sleep is the only productive action left for you tonight. Rest now, the morning is coming.